Just like that, we approach yet another summer. Summer is known as the season of blockbusters, and boy does summer look great in the anime world this year. I'm here to give you a preview of what new anime summer has in store. It's not all about the sequels after all, and we've got some promising titles lining up the seasonal chart too. Whichever type of watcher you are, you might find something to like. Why don't you give these animes a shot? We start today's list with Failure Frame. If you need any further proof that the underdog revenge story isekai is still alive and well, then look no further than this first anime that graces the list. Failure Frame has its resident protagonist in Toka, who, along with his classmates, gets transported into a fantasy world set to be heroes. Unfortunately for Toka, he ends up having the worst ability of them all, and this draws the ire of the goddess. Banished into the dungeon, he's left with one course of action: crawling his way back with his supposedly worthless abilities that are abnormally powerful. Failure Frame is a story that the more veteran fans are no strangers to.
Here I come. Here I come.
We all know how the song goes. Undermined protagonist being sent off to his doom, only to crawl back to be stronger than ever. Still, there's a strong appeal to these kind of power fantasies, and I'm sure fans are eager to welcome Failure Frame in their ever-growing library of such stories. If you're fond of the concept, here's something that you should definitely check out this summer. While not as edgy as the former, our number 9 entry does carry some similar vibes thematically. Here's Wisteria's Wand and Sword. Here comes another contender this spring, and it also stars an overlooked upstart. Will Surfort has lofty ambitions, looking to become one of the mightiest magicians in the land. However, this seems to be a far cry from happening because the reality is that he's just not that good. He's someone who's unable to even grasp the basics of magic, and this gets him assigned to the unglamorous job of fighting monsters for credits. Oh, and it also puts him on a collision course with a particularly mean professor at his magic academy. However, things may not be what they seem for this fellow right here. It's got the same overcoming the odds and proving others wrong theme as Failure Frame, but I'd say that Wisteria's Wand and Sword offers something different in its approach and goals as an anime. For one, it's less of a power fantasy, but more of something akin to Black Clover or Mashle, even down to the aesthetics of their worlds. It's got a promising preview up already, and it seems to be the type of underdog fantasy story more accessible to general viewers. It's arguably the more easily recommendable one between the two. Days with My Stepsister is at number 8.
俺たちはうまくやっていけるんじゃないかな。
私たち似てるね。ダメなところも含めて。
As we leave Fantasyland, we dive into a show that might sound familiar to those vaguely paying attention to seasonals the past couple of years. Indeed, it's just been 2 years since My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex, and I won't blame you for mixing these two up. Heck, both are shows with romantic undertones where the main couple is formed by their parents' remarriage. However, instead of a comedic focus, it pivots more on the growing relationship between our main couple Yuta and Saki, who, despite promising each other not to get too intimate, find themselves bonding. Turns out that a shoulder to lean on is always what one really needs, and that unlocks some interesting developments. Days with My Stepsister is a title that may seem like a rom-com at first glance, but actually leans more towards the sweet and wholesome side of the genre. The pace is quite slow, but it gives ample time for viewers to digest the closing distance between our hesitant couple. It's a strong series overall, and it does fill in a niche in seasonal anime charts that's not too often filled. And if you're the type of person who can't get enough isekai action, then this is the game collab for you. The super hit mobile game AFK Arena is collaborating with the iconic That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime anime series. If you're unfamiliar, AFK Arena is an inactive RPG where you assemble a squad of powerful characters and have them level up, take quests, and fight while you're, well, away from your keyboard. It's a godsend for us anime fans who need our fantasy fix but don't have the hours to grind through levels. Now, in an awesome crossover event, 2 of your favorite slime characters are joining the battle. A super OP Void Mage with insane burst damage potential is being added as the legendary Rimuru Tempest himself. His faithful steward Shuna is also joining him as a brilliant support Void hero to keep Rimuru alive. The team at Lilith Games even worked with the original Japanese voice actors to provide their voices for the characters' dialogues, and that's only the start of this collaboration madness. AFK Arena is offering you all kinds of nice rewards, including a 100 180 free summon event so you can get an SP hero. There's also brand new story chapters and game modes based on Tensura's amazing world building. If you want to see Rimuru Isekai Saga in a new way and scratch that gacha itch, check out AFK Arena's Slime Takeover event. Download AFK Arena from the link below and prepare to see Rimuru and the gang reincarnated on your mobile device. In 7th place, here's How to Become Ordinary. That's quite the intriguing title, don't you think? Out of curiosity, I ended up checking what it's all about, and to my surprise, I ended up facing a mystery novel adaptation. Gobato wants nothing but an ordinary life after some painful experiences in the past. Luckily for him though, he manages to find someone in the same boat. Enter Osanai, who likewise desires the same ordinary life, free from the unknown and the intrigue that comes with mysteries. Unfortunately, things don't come easy for them, and incidents continue to come after them, forcing them into some mystery-solving action again. If you thought that How to Become Ordinary gives off an aura similar to Hyoka, it's because both are from the same person. However, for the newer anime fan, maybe Bunny Girl Senpai is a possible comparison that's more relatable. Either way, How to Become Ordinary will be brought to us by the people handling the Undead Girl Murder Fast adaptation. I'm personally excited to see how the mysteries and characters and dynamics translate into anime format, and we'll be keeping an eye out for this come summer.
これで僕らは永遠に Oh yeah?
We trek through another fantasy world with this next anime, No Longer Allowed in Another World.
ようこそ冒険者よ。あなたは選ばれ転移したのです。
When we look at the isekai series, there's always the nagging feeling that it's a genre that heavily feeds into wish fulfillment. Not all of them, mind you, but a lot of them operate under the assumption that there's one thing that male adults with unfulfilling lives want: to be reincarnated into a fantasy world as a young person still in their prime and with powers, as well as an uncanny ability to get girls by the bunches. Not Osamu Dazai, who finds himself yanked from 1948 into this strange world. All he wants to do is find the perfect place to die, but these adventures with a whole slew of fantasy race girls just keep getting in his way. No Longer Allowed in Another World is an affectionate parody of the isekai genre. There's a unique element of lightheartedness in this anime, and having a character that's completely a fish out of water in this world, as opposed to some video game genius or self-aware degenerate on Earth, does make for a fun watch. Don't go anywhere, because the perfect new anime for you might just be coming up. For now, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button. That way you can tell me that you like these kind of videos and help me a bit with the YouTube algorithm. Now back to the video. Sword of the Demon Hunter is next. Of course, there's another staple of the action anime world, the good old demon-slaying samurai action series. In this story, our protagonist Jinta is in charge of protecting a shrine maiden from supernatural threats. However, a peculiar demon he encounters starts talking of the far future. Taking those words to heart, Jinta travels through time in order to chase the demon, going on a hunt that transcends time, all while confronting both the various eras' mysteries and his own purpose. In contrast to a lot of the shows in that genre that are making it quite big, Sword of the Demon Hunter is an adaptation of a novel that has a more mature demographic. It also has a manga version that also exudes similar vibes. Most anime fans are no strangers to the whole demon-slaying samurai premise, but Sword of the Demon Hunter makes its unique mark with its more mature and introspective atmosphere, focusing on character development. Sword of Demon Hunter also gets a 1-hour special for its debut episode, so don't miss it. Since we're also on the topic of timelines and all, why don't we focus on the next anime, Why Nobody Remembers My World.
なんで誰も本当の世界を覚えていないんだ
In a battle of supremacy amongst races, humanity, led by the legendary hero Sid, claims victory. However, in a cruel twist of fate, the world and its happy ending gets rewritten in front of Kai. With the hero leading the war gone, humanity in this new timeline suffers defeat. While having demons be in charge may look bleak, Kai has to accept another weird yet grim reality. His existence has been forgotten completely.
Who are you?
With the help of a mysterious girl, Rinne, he looks to help humanity take back what's rightfully theirs, all with the abilities of the erased hero Sid. The third of Kei Sazane's light novels to be given an adaptation, Why Nobody Remembers My World is an interesting series that also takes place in a world of swords and magic. Not too dissimilar to a less modern / technological version of the setting for Our Last Crusade, which I mentioned in the intro. Maybe a classic JRPG may ring some bells. The whole alternative timeline premise also creates some intrigue and certainly gives it an edge in terms of unique premises. I'm personally very excited to see what direction this show will take. We open up the top 3 with the rookie middle-aged adventurer was trained to death by the most powerful party to become invincible. They say that youth is the prime of our lives, and it's true. It's way easier to learn skills and get better when you're at that sweet age of late adolescence. That much is also known by the residents of a fantasy world, which leads to a lot of them understanding Rick Gladiator. However, one thing they don't count on is that Rick, despite being way older than the typical adventurer, has been steeled by quite literal monsters. Elite members of Orichalcon Fist, the cream of the crop, and the best mentors that any middle-aged adventurer can ask for. If we're talking about titles being on the nose, then here's a winner. It basically tells you what you need to know about this premise, but a few things do stand out. One is the adult protagonist, which gives a nice spin to the often overlooked protagonist type, and while it's still a power fantasy at its core, it's very clear about not taking itself too seriously and playing around with being a show akin to a One Punch Man retread, if you can believe it.
別にいいじゃねえか。何歳から新しいことを始めたって。新米おっさん冒険者、最強パーティーに死ぬほど鍛えられて無敵になる。
Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian comes in at number 2.
あの子すっごい綺麗。
おい、あれお、空城さんじゃん。
おはようクゼくん。おはようクゼくん。
There's been a strong marketing push for this anime, and I can't say that those efforts were misplaced. Having read some of the source material, I do think Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian is poised to be the next hit in the world of rom-coms. The premise is decently simple. There's not a lot that ticks off the cold and beautiful transfer student Alia, but one of those is her seatmate. You see, Masachika is the furthest thing from an honor student. Awkward, inattentive, and generally lazy all around. However, it's the behavior that catches Alia's attention, and while berating him for his attitude, she would sneak in comments about her true feelings in Russian, completely unaware that his seatmate understands what's on her mind for real. The premise is basic, but what makes this anime fun is the interactions and the character dynamics between the characters. There's much to be said about Alia and Masachika, as well as how the former tsundere feelings get accidentally laid bare for the Russian fluent guy. However, the side characters, chief amongst them Yuki, only add spice to the everyday school life that never has a boring moment.
時々ボソッとロシア語で出れる隣のアーリャさん。
Last, but definitely not least, there's Isekai's Suicide Squad.
はいみんなずっとワクワクしてるぶっ通せばいいじゃん
いいから女だ
If you're familiar with comics and movies, then you may know the basic concept of the Suicide Squad, a supervillain group being granted temporary freedom in exchange for doing the government's dirty work. Should they fail, they get a one-way ticket to the afterlife. A win-win for the bosses, right? However, this time, Harley Quinn and the gang face a challenge they've never tackled in any setting before, a completely different world of fantasy and magic. Are they up to the task? Well, who cares? Failure's not an option to this group if they want to come out of this alive. Isekai's Suicide Squad for me symbolizes the phenomenon of anime becoming more and more global. Compared to a decade ago, anime has become an international form of entertainment, and this latest blending of two worlds, both Western comics and Japanese anime, is no greater proof of that. Isekai's Suicide Squad may be just one of the promising new shows that will continue to break the barrier and introduce the world of anime to more people, especially those who happen to be fans of movies and comic books.
死んでもかなわない犯罪者の部隊スーサイドスクワッドが
How about you? Which one are you looking more forward to? Either way, thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'd love to know what you got for your top anticipated non-sequels this summer. Don't forget to check out AFK Arena from the link in the description. Hope to see you again next time. Have a great day ahead.